Hi everyone, I'm Joanne and welcome to Chop Chat Cook. Today I've got Kim in the kitchen. Welcome, Kim.
Thanks, Jo, for having me in your kitchen.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. And I look forward to talking to Kim this afternoon. We're going to be talking about jobs of the future. So it's a great topic to explore. Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I manage a community centre down in Logan, and so for people across the lifespan. So we've got people coming in doing therapeutic activities, educational activities, play groups, parenting programs, and also skilling Queenslanders for work. So people wanting to go back, into the workforce. So we see some people that may have just had their first baby, or we've had people that are retiring and looking for something more to be doing in the community.
A full range, really, haven't you?
I know.
From sort of even you have trainees as well, like 16-year-olds, don't you?
We do, yeah. So we have traineeships within the centre. We have students that come for their placement, and volunteers. We wouldn't survive without our volunteers, because each of them bring their own little quirky little ways, and we've all got our different strengths and weaknesses. So pulling everyone together, it's amazing what we get happening and doing out in the Logan community, because a lot of our families are doing it really tough. A lot of them are going through trauma and working through that trauma. Yeah.
And I think also that, like talking about jobs of the future, your volunteers, like a lot of them, develop more skills, don't they, from their volunteering experience, which
definitely
can lead into paid employment. So it's a really great pathway
right.
into
That's
employment.
right. I mean, and the thing is, I believe that, people get passionate, about what they're doing. So they may come in and, happy to stand back and, observe. And it's just great to watch them step up, and then they blossom once they develop within their confidence. They're with other people. They're focusing on something that means a lot to them. And it does show too that when they do go for jobs, that on their resume, it's got, I've been volunteering, down at the community centre for 12 months, and I've been doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And also with our students, they might have it all in theory, but to keep that, to develop that practice wisdom.
Yeah. That's a good point. But and also like grow in confidence as well, which is another big part of that, isn't it?
It is. So, and for some of our people, they've been out of the workforce, for a long time. So just getting, back on, whether it be on reception or on a computer, it's a big step for them. And then just, going up and talking to strangers and so that's a real privilege in my position, as the manager, to see people, really grow, and they bring so much, to the centre.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so I see it as a win-win situation.
Yeah, I think so too. So one of the things that I was just interested in looking at when we talk about jobs of the future is from the 2016 census, like what are the top 4 jobs, for both men and female.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite interesting. Like for men, it's like sales assistants, truck drivers, electricians and carpenters and joiners. And then for females, it's sales assistants as well, registered nurses, and general clerks and receptionists. Yeah. So there's a report that's just come out about the 100 jobs of the future. And what that report talks about is the skills needed for those future jobs. And I don't actually think they're sort of that much different from now. So they're talking about cross-disciplinary skills. They're talking about human skills, communication and teamwork, flexibility and adaptability, but also like that really big one about the technology as well. Because that's a really rapidly changing area, isn't it?
That's right. And look, and I've even seen that with myself, when coming into the sector, we've always collected evaluation, and collecting data, but now it's the extent of the data that's needed, because we're very fortunate. We receive funding from 3 tiers of government. So they want to see, what's working, what are the gaps in the community, So, yeah, so for me, you know, I've had to go on and do other training, or otherwise you get left behind. You get left at the train station, you know.
Do.
And
got to stay ahead of that train, haven't you?
You do, you know. So it's really staying current.
Yeah.
And also for me, and I think women, we're good at that, is reaching out to other women and say, look, I'm really stuck. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like, am I on the right path? And, you know, help me. I need a hand.
That's good, isn't it? And having a network to draw on as well.
True.
Yeah. So the other thing that the report identified were themes, and we've talked about these. We talked about technology. We talked about the aging population.
Yes, yep.
Particularly around, you know, the jobs in the health sector.
Yes.
And being flexible and adaptable, and being creativity. You know, it's nice that that's been recognised as being important, because, you know, to be creative, to have these entrepreneurial skills,
yes,
you know, to problem solve. And one of the other things that they said, which is really important, is that capacity to, you know, continue to learn over a lifetime.
That's right.
You know, it's that lifelong learning again, isn't it?
It is. And you've got to keep reinventing yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So whether it's, as we all know, you know, doing other programs, other courses, just to keep yourself current. And often what I find too, when I'm at these, you know, doing some professional development, you know, then I'll link up with someone else and, you know, connect up. So it's almost joining the dots with different people and their different skills, and how, you know, it can complement myself and the work that I'm doing within the community.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, is really important. So it's not just only learning, you know, building up your skill sets. It's building, you know, those networks.
Yeah,
and
you're
hearing
right.
other
That's a
people's
good point.
stories. And like you mentioned before, it doesn't matter how good you are at the job, if you don't have that interpersonal skills to be working in a team, you know, heading towards a common goal.
Yeah, and I think it's that teamwork, isn't it? And collaborating and sort of partnering up with people who you have similar interests with, but also people who have the balance of skills, you know, like if you're not quite so strong in one area, then, you know, you, in your team, you balance out all of those strengths and weaknesses, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. And I think too, it's a fun thing too, you know, so you might be you know, looking at putting in, you know, for some more funding for the government. So someone will be researching, someone will be, you know, putting the application together. Some of it will be drawing on the data. So it's all, everyone bringing, you know, what they're passionate about and you know, and what they're good at doing. And I think too, don't be frightened to say, I need a hand.
Yeah,
you know.
that's
I think you've got to delegate out, because, you know, it just gets too heavy and, you know, too much trying to do everything by yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. Now, I think just there was one other thing that we wanted just to cover off was about, okay, so where are the job opportunities right now? So I think it's certainly the ageing population, isn't it? And healthcare?
Yes, definitely in healthcare. With the ageing population, we're seeing there are a lot more jobs out there to be working in aged care residents, or supporting people within their home. So it's, it seems to be, and so some people are wanting to stay in their homes longer. However, they may need the assistance, you know, for showering and personal needs, or whether it be going shopping or potting around in the garden. So definitely in that individual support. Is something that that we are seeing. You know, there is, you know, employment outcomes there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I think just in summary, some tips for, you know, for our audience. I think jobs of the future, lifelong learning, isn't it? It's about developing your skills, keeping up to date all the time.
Yes, Jo, absolutely. Yeah.
Network,
yes, yeah. The skills of network, and don't be afraid to even to go, you know, back to, say, friends that you went to school with or from a past job, and just putting yourself out there, and then you get asked to do, you know, to come back and then help them with something. So it's that, you know, sharing.
It's sort of circular, isn't it? Yeah. And bearing in mind also that 80% of jobs aren't advertised. So those opportunities...
Really? 80%?
Yeah, it's really high. In the film industry, it's much higher, but just generally 80% of jobs. So that's where your network...
Gee, I'm shocked about that. That's a huge
Yeah, that's where your network, you know, is really important.
Yeah.
And keeping those contacts up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks, Kim.
No, thank you. I'll get back to my cuppa and we'll keep on chatting. So thanks.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.